Hi there, welcome back. Look at this lovely collection of goodies. First of all, we've got some lovely glitters, fine glitters from our Scoops haul from Jules at Resin, Jules and Helena at Resin Decor Supplies. We've also got some of these lovely pigments from Greedy Cat Pigment Designs or Greedy Cat Designs. Lovely colours. If you've not seen those in our haul video, or wasn't a haul video, it was an unboxing video, why not check that out from our playlist? And if you haven't seen the Scoops one either, check that one out as well. They're definitely worth watching. As usual, everything that we use in today's video will be linked in the description box below. Look at this lovely resin. We love this resin. We're not sponsored by anybody in this video. We've bought everything ourselves. But yeah, we thought we'd use the mould resin that goes with this lovely super duper bunny kit. So just putting the little silicone bung in there, because this lovely bunny holds a test tube shaped glass vase. So you can put single stem roses, dried flowers, whatever you like in there. Again, you don't have to put the bung in. Obviously, if you don't put that little bung in, then you're just going to have yourself a lovely little bunny, which you can use as an ornament, you know, bit of interior decor, why not? So now this bunny mould is quite deep. So it does take quite a bit of resin up, but I thought I'd go something a little bit different. And if you know us, you know we're a bit partial to some glitter. So just using one of these lovely glitters from our Scoops haul, and dipped the brush that I'm using there. Now this is actually a makeup brush, which we don't use for makeup. We use for doing exactly this sort of thing, for dusting in ultra fine glitters, mica powders onto moulds and things like that. So just putting a tiny bit in. I'm actually using what was in the lid and then just dipping the brush into the lid and then just literally putting it down into the surface of the mould. We just wanted to see how the glitter would come off onto the silicone. I've got 3 rather dark little spots there. Now you can leave those, but I do actually go in with a baby wipe and clean those out because that wasn't the effect I wanted. But if you were going to do this in white or off-white, then you could leave those in and they'd be really cute. Really cute. 3 little spots on his bottom near his little cottontail. But there I am. You can see me just removing it with a wet wipe there. Let it go completely dry, or just dry it off with a bit of paper towel, a kitchen towel, and then just going in and making sure I've got the glitter every which way in the mould that I want it to be. There we are. So it's looking very faint at the moment. You can't necessarily see it, but trust me, it is there. There you go. Can you see that now? Look at that pop. Holographic iridescent glitter. That was that one. Now I'm going in with this beautiful pinkish red. I'm just popping some in the lid so that I've got a bit more control, says she, over how the glitter goes in. So dipping the brush in, tapping it on the side, tiny bit. And then again, just doing exactly the same as I did with the other glitter. And this then, what will actually happen in the end with this lovely little bunny is you'll get a dual effect. So on one side, it'll look one particular way, and on the other side, it will look in another sort of design. I'm probably not making myself ever so clear, but you'll see what I mean when we get to the demold part after it's cured. Look at that. You can see those hints of the pinky coloured glitter there. Lovely. I mean, nothing stopping you from using your favourite mica powders. You could do an ombre style. My gosh. If you've got the patience, we've done a few ombre styles before with trinket dishes and pots and things with moulds. Why not check out our playlist and have a little look through? Look at that with those glitters. Little pops of colours. A bit more of a close-up. There you go. So it did adhere to the mould really well. Now this bunny rabbit is from Mould, the people that we got the resin from. They do quite often do a mould of the month, I think they call it, which is at a heavily discounted price if you buy the resin. So we've mixed up the resin here. Well, I haven't mixed it. I've added part A and part B. Part A and part B come with different coloured caps on them, which is really good. Just in case you forget which one you've put in. I think I measured out a total of about 400 millilitres, so it was quite a lot. I'm then going to decant it into these 4 separate silicone mixing jugs. Now, I did actually stir that resin slowly and steadily for 5 minutes. So set your timers for 5 minutes and just slowly, steadily stir it. And I used a long silicone spatula stirrer to do that. Make sure that you've got no little streaks, white streaks or anything like that in the resin. If you have, then stir it for another couple of minutes and you should all be good to go. Now I've got a few little micro bubbles still in this resin. You can by all means put it through the degassing, or as I call it, the debubbling machine if you have one. If not, just leave it to one side for a minute or so and it should all sort of come to the surface and disperse. I wasn't particularly worried because I know that I've used this resin before and it's wonderful stuff. I'd be very surprised if you get any little bubbles in it. So the tiniest bit of the pigment, as you can see, I'm using literally the tiniest bit of pigment. A little goes a very long way. These are very concentrated in colour. Now, I wouldn't normally film this part, but I thought I would, just to show you. Now, this is that beautiful jazzberry jam colour. Look at that. Now, this one isn't as opaque at this stage, and I'll be honest, off camera, I did add a bit more pigment to this one because I didn't want it see-through, but I suppose it just shows you what you can do with these pigments. You know, the more you add, the denser the colour, the more opaque it becomes. You know, if you add the tiny, if you like a couple of like little almost pinpricks of colour from the paste, the pigment paste in it, then you're gonna get something the equivalent of probably alcohol inks, I would say, you know, or acrylic inks that you put in the tiny little drops of it. But with this one, the blue, a lot more of a milky colour. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that. And then finally, this lovely, lovely, I think this was the sweet pea one, wasn't it? Beautiful, beautiful pinks. Reminds me of pale pink roses. Lovely. These colours would look lovely made into roses if you have any silicone moulds that have got rose shapes to them, or any flower shapes really. So then in this 4th one, we're adding in the glitters. Now that was that lovely pinky coloured glitter. Now again, sorry, off camera, I do add in a little bit more glitter. So that's the pinky coloured one. Look at the way it just spreads across the surface of the resin. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous, this. And then we're going to go in with some of the other glitter. Look. Wow. Now that looks quite dark grey, but it isn't. In the actual resin itself, it's not. So those were the 2 glitters that we brushed the inside of the bunny mould with. So I thought, why not? Let's do a bit of clear and add it in. As I say, I don't think this really shows up in the final piece, this clear resin, but you know, you can do that if you want to. There we go. If you're only going to use 2 actual pigmented colours and you just wanted to keep them apart maybe a bit more, then yeah, by all means use a clear resin or something with maybe some foil, faux foil flakes in. But here we go. Now, there's no particular order or arrangement here with the way I put the resin into the mould. I'm literally just going to pour some puddles of the lovely pigmented resin here and there in the mould, trying not to spill it everywhere. There we go. Look at those pink and the blue. Lovely. Gorgeous, gorgeous colours. And then here we go in with that jazzberry jam. Just into the little parts that I haven't filled already with resin. Doesn't matter if they overlap the other colours, because as you know, with all best will and intentions in the world, you can have an idea of where you want the resin to go, but resin is a bit of a diva and it will go where it wants to go. So as it continues to cure, through the whole curing process, it will move around and it'll blend and mix and so on. So all I did is just continue to fill up this mould, making sure that you do cover the part where the bung is in the little bunny's hands. Hands, do they have them? They don't, do they? In his front paws, where he'll be holding that test tube vase. Making sure that, yeah, you just literally fill it. Fill the mould. You've got to cover that bung as well, otherwise you're going to have a big gap, which is obviously then defeating the purpose of it. In again with this lovely clear with the glitter. Beautiful, beautiful. So every time you add a colour in or you add more resin, it's going to move the other colours around, and you never really know what you're going to get, which is one of the reasons why I like doing this kind of process. You never quite know what you're going to get until it's cured and you do the demould. Now what I didn't show you, and I do with this, as I do go all the way around the edge with a micro brush just to make sure that we haven't got any little bubbles trying to stick to the surface. But look at the way that's pulling in. Can you see the pale pinks pulling away from the edges, going into the centre? But the colours are fantastic. So this is a whole 24 hours later. We did have some leftover resin, which you can see I've used that lovely mould from Jules at Resin Jules and Helena at Resin Decor Supplies. And I've made some more earrings. Look at that. I don't show you the whole making of the earring process using the, you know, the hardware, the jewellery findings. If you want to see that, then check out our previous video with Greedy Cat. So if you search in our playlist, you'll see how we put in the jewellery findings, you know, the shepherd's hook ear wires, and how we use the jump rings. So just going to show you the demould of this now. Go. Look at that. I love this mould. This was from our scoops video, which was something that we took part in with Jules at Resin Jules and Helena at Resin Decor Supplies. They usually have the scoops on Instagram, and they do it live. For more information, why not direct message Jules and Helena, and you'll be able to find out exactly when the next one is happening. We think it might be towards the end of this month, towards the end of March. But if you drop them a message, and they'll be able to let you know. There we go. So just doing those last couple there. Yeah, absolutely stunning. So that's what they look like on one side. Now again, you don't have to use them as earrings. You could use them as handbag charms, key rings, anything you like, focal pieces in necklaces, bracelets. Let your craft imagination run wild. Really get the creative vibes flowing. But I think those look stunning. Love the way the effect the resin has had on that side. And look at those. Beautiful that way. These are flat ones, these hearts, and look at that. I did manage to do a bit of an ombre there. Look at that. Wow, absolutely beautiful. And then we've got the more what I would call daisy shaped flowers, the kind of thing you probably drew when you were at kindergarten or infant school or nursery, maybe. Typical way to draw flowers. And of course I dropped them, so we're going to try again. Here we go. Show them to you better this now. A little bit of tidy up to do there with a little bit of overpour, which is simple enough to do. Once it's still soft, just sort of remove it with a little pair of sharp scissors or a craft knife, or go around with a little bit of maybe an emery board nail file, just to get rid of that. So that's the flat side. These are little puffy hearts, which can be used as stud earrings or as dangle earrings, drop earrings. Look at that. Love them. Glitter really showing up lovely in those. Really lovely. And then the last one is the two puffy circles, the puffy rounds. There we go. Fantastic as a stud earring, or you could glue the two of them together and have them as a sphere, as you know, like a charm or something like that. So that was those. Now on to let's demold this bunny. Look at the way the colours mixed. Very much a pastel, gentle sort of blend of colours on that side. Can you see the glitter sparkling? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Look at that. Now, you can, of course, freehand paint an eye on, or if you've got little stick-on eyes, maybe you could pop that on. If you want to put an eye on him, maybe put a little detail of a nose, maybe even as well, if you wanted. I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it as it is, because I don't think it really needs anything extra. But there we go. Look at that. So that's very much blended, pale pastel, suggestion of marbling. We can see bits of glitter. I've got some tidying up to do just around this top edge because the resin as it's cured has shrunk back a little bit. Love the shape. No little bubbles anywhere. Just going to remove this little silicone bung. There we go. I'm so pleased that worked. There we go. We just press it down and you should be able to peel it and pull it away and it'll come out. Don't lose that. So best to keep that with your mould. Little bit of tidy up to do around that edge there as well. Oh, a little bit flash more of some glitter there on the edges. Look, can you see that? Now that is the glitter that's come off of the inside of the mould. Look at that. The way the colours have blended. It look beautiful. So that was the blended side. And then this is the other side. Look at that. So this is more an ombre with perhaps a bit of marbling, lots of lovely glitter, and more of a defined pour. So that was where we did the puddles of colour. So you could have it either way around, totally up to you. Dual-sided. And then you are, the little glass test tube vial there goes in as it is there, and he holds on tight to it. And you know, that's where you put your flowers and things. So it's this beautiful close-up. Look at him. Is it a him? Is it a he or is it a she? Well, I don't suppose it really matters. But we've just put a little faux white rose there in just to give you the idea of what you can do. Looks absolutely stunning. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. It was a real pleasure for me to use the mould, the silicone mould itself, and also the resin made by mould. And as usual, everything linked in the description box down below so that you can click on those links and go and make the purchases for yourselves. Happy crafting, everybody, and we will see you again very, very soon. Thanks, everyone.